Hi, welcome to Shepherd's Fold Ministries, where today we're going to talk about the statement satisfaction with ministry efforts before retirement and the possible answers to that and how that impacts well being. This was part of a research project that was conducted in 2019, commissioned by Shepherd's Fold Ministries and conducted by the research department at Lifeway Research. It was the first ever multi denominational study of retired ministers. And by retired ministers, I mean ministers ages 67 and older or those who have official retirement status. So we needed 500 participants in order to have an academically verifiable study. As you can see, we had nearly 5 times that amount, 2451 participants, 2,451 participants, in which we were measuring the spiritual, social, physical, and financial health and well-being of each of these participants, and looking to find what made the biggest difference in their overall well-being. As a result of this study, the statisticians are very, very, very confident that we have solid answers about what is needed and what impacts the well-being of ministers ages 67 and older or those who have retired ministry status. It was grant funded, over $36,000 to complete this 433-page research project, but it's this statement that I'd like to give attention to right now. It is this statement: satisfaction with your ministry efforts before retirement. And these people were allowed to answer in a variety of ways, from very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, not sure, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, or finally very dissatisfied. The good news is, among other things, that 59% of the participants of the study chose the answer very satisfied with ministry efforts before retirement. 33% chose somewhat satisfied. 1% was not sure. I didn't give you that option on the test that you took, but that's there. 3% said neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. Okay, and then 1% said very dissatisfied with my ministry efforts before retirement. Here's why that is important. Here's why the answer to that question and statement is very important. And so I put a graph together, kind of like a dashboard on a car, in which you have the coolant and the engine's running cool, things are good, everything's fine. That's symbolized by the blue, and then yellow you get into medium category, and then red hot it starts to get toward danger zone and things aren't as well. So I took the numerical grades of the overall well-being of the participants of each answer to this, and we averaged their overall well-being. The 59% who said they were very satisfied, they had an average well-being score of just next to the very best. I mean, it's just super. However, one step down is the somewhat satisfied, and you can see a large difference that it makes to be somewhat satisfied with your ministry efforts before retirement, all the way to satisfied, very satisfied. So it's the last column of the yellow label here to be able to help show what the well-being, overall well-being is for these people who chose somewhat satisfied. I want to talk about that here some more in just a moment. If they weren't sure or they picked neither, they both, in both cases, averaged the same amount of well-being, which is not good at all, almost the worst that it can be. Those who said they were very dissatisfied, even though it was only 1%, um, had the very lowest average of well-being that is possible according to the research project that we had. So here's my contention. My contention is this: wherever our answers might be, if we're able to move it at least one step closer or get it moving this direction, if you're very dissatisfied, neither, move it to somewhat satisfied. Find ways to look back and reflect on your ministry in a way that brings satisfaction. If you're in active ministry right now, organize your days and such that you don't look back and say, I just really didn't give my very best effort. Well, let's avoid that at all costs, because we have the research to prove that the way we look back on that is this is an impact on our overall well-being. Even if you're somewhat satisfied, you answer the question that way. I would encourage you to do the following few actions to move it the direction of being even more satisfied. And in doing so, this action, I believe this researcher is saying that this action will help bring about a stronger overall well being in your spirit. How can we do that? One is to share stories of God victories or Him again stories. Information is on this page about how and why you can do that, but I believe the more we reflect on what God has done and realize that whatever the cost might be and however human our efforts turned out to be, God took that and did some things beyond our ability, and for that reason, He took what we gave Him and did something good. The more we reflect on that, I believe we will have a more accurate understanding of the work that God took regarding our effort and did His good work. Secondly, I'm going to encourage you to serve those right in front of you today. In other words, our ministry years are not over. If we have breath in our lungs, we have the ability to impact others by serving them. And in a way, that is continuing ministry. We don't have to be behind a pulpit preaching in order to be making a difference for the kingdom of God. And so there's a sense in which it's not all over, that there's an opportunity in front of us today. In fact, on the Shepherd's Fold website, shepherdsfoldministries.com, on our Godly Impact page, we have over 35 ways. It's a growing list of ways that we can make a difference in the life of someone today. So I encourage you to share your stories of God victories. Listen to the stories of God victories from others, as well as serve those right in front of you today in order to see that your well-being increase as you consider what you have done in the past and make sure today is the best day it can be for sharing God's love with others.